going to take you in space seat, ladies.
My little powder lipstick, yeah.
Girl, hi. Hi.
It's a little out of it.
Yeah, okay.
She's super tired. She went for a summer seminar.
What, bro? Now you just got to
Commanding General.
It's a great opportunity for Command Sergeant and I to come here to be able to conduct this change command. We didn't know we were going to get in last night. The planes were coming in. We had about 3 flights canceled, so we're trying to get to Atlanta. We were going to drive, about 5 o'clock this morning. It was about 5 hours to get back out there, but luckily we got a plane in and we were able to get here. So what a great day today, and it's great to see each and every one of you out there. That I get to see many of you on BTCs and many other different events. And I just want to take just a few minutes here today in a very quick ceremony, to recognize this great command team, before we conduct the change of command. And what we'll do is we'll just go through a quick ceremony to present the awards, but also recognize their spouses for what they've done and contributed over the time. It's been great for me to come out here. Sergeant Major and I were just in Afghanistan probably about 3 weeks ago. We met with General Anderson. General Anderson had nothing but the greatest comments to say about this organization, about this team, and about the work that's being done here at Fort Bragg. And then we briefed General Allen the other day, and he had nothing but the same kind of words about the greatness of what is happening here at 406. And then also I was with a quick discussion with General Shin, who I've known for years too, and had nothing but the greatest comments to say about 406 and the contributions. So today, it's kind of like a bittersweet day. We recognize this great command team, and what I really want to emphasize is the command team. Not individual, not one organization. It's not an officer-led. It's a command team with commanded by David Wilson and then run by the Command Sergeant Major. And of course, all our great Department of Army civilians and contractors that contribute to that team and really give us the base, to keep the continuity in the way ahead. So without you, we could not do it. And you'll hear me today formally talk to some of those points about the greatness of this unit and what it's doing, not just sustaining the eastern half of the United States, the Corps and 82nd and all that, but just all the great accomplishments that you do. But what you're really doing, you're really building and sustaining combat power for the Army. And then now with the LRCs, we're being able to project it from one side of the world to the other side. And we have an end-to-end capability. And it's really tremendous when you think about it, and really powerful for the Army. And maybe you don't know, but General O'Connell would be my replacement in about, in April 21st. So we're so fortunate to have him and his wife Eddie, because that will be the next, continuation with his background and coming from FORSCOM, and then be able to take the unit to the next level, just like we changed out today. But I cannot overemphasize the complexity, the geographic region, the number of units that you command and control. The LRCs, I think it's 35% of the United States Army population is working in CONUS, is what we're sustaining here. And that's really just tremendous when you think about 35%. And I gotta tell you, I speak and see senior leaders all the time, and I never hear one complaint from the 406 area, which is 18th Airborne Corps units and all that. And it's because of what each and every one of you do every day. And you do it just so great. I mean, it is not on my plate. No one is calling me saying, hey, General Wharton, what about this? What about that? It's all under control, and it's under the leadership of David and then Command Sergeant Major Snyder, and of course the great Steve, and wherever you're at, the great team that we have here. So I don't want to talk too much, because I'll formally discuss a lot of those points on a very warm and hot day out here. But I want you to know, we set the record at Rock Island. We were over 50 days in below zero to minus weather temperature. So it's a whole change, and we feel like we're falling out. But it's been such a great event. And the one thing that I was up here on some other TUI, and one of the times I got to see the closest of this command group and command team, besides all the mission stuff I'll talk about, was when Sergeant Major Snyder was in the hospital. And the thing that really impressed me was, the family was there, and Patricia was there, and so I go in, on a break from TUI to go in and see Sergeant Major Snyder. Patricia was there for X number of hours, Lane was there, of course, and all that. So it was just so wonderful, and it just speaks volumes to the power of this command team and this command group, and what kind of leaders that you are. But I want to thank every one of you out there for what you do day in and day out, because without you, I really mean this, we would not be sustaining this CONUS-based Army. And we're really trying to work hard, and that'll be the next generation. How do we put all those TTPs in to sustain this CONUS-based Army? Without further ado,
attention to order.
Let me say this, everyone sit down. You can sit down. Many people don't know that. Just relax. Just relax and sit down. Enjoy yourself.
The United States of America, to all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America has awarded the Legion of Merit to Colonel David Wilson, Logistics, United States Army, for exceptionally meritorious service as commander of the 406th Army Field Support Brigade, the United States Army Sustainment Command, from 18 June 2012 to 20 June 2014. His commitment to excellence, mission focus, and leadership presence were critical elements that allowed the brigade to exceed all standards of success while simultaneously supporting the warfighter. His exemplary performance influenced soldiers and civilians throughout the brigade's formation. Colonel Wilson's achievements, dedication, and exemplary performance of duty are in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, the United States Army Materiel Command, and the United States Army. By order of the Secretary of the Army, this 6th day of May, 2014, signed, Dennis L. Bragg, General, United States Army, Commanding. Department of the Army. Mrs. Patricia Wilson is presented the Commander's Award for Public Service for exceptional civilian service to the soldiers, civilians, and the workforce of the 406th Army Field Support Brigade, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, from June 2012 through June 2014. Her unselfish devotion and dedicated service greatly supported the building of a highly effective organization and contributed to maintaining team excellence. In addition to her personal contributions, she has positively impacted the 406th Army Field Support Brigade as a multiplier for success in the command's readiness and mission accomplishment. Her contributions serve as a standard for others to emulate. Mrs. Wilson's contributions are in keeping with the highest ideals of public service and reflect great credit upon herself, the 406th Army Field Support Brigade, the United States Army Sustainment Command, the United States Army Materiel Command, and the Department of the Army. This 19th day of May 2014, signed, John F. Wharton, Major General, United States Army, Commanding. Department of the Army. Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Mrs. Patricia Wilson for the outstanding support and understanding you provided to your husband throughout his assignment. Your support and help reflect your high ethics, love of country and family, and brings great credit upon yourself, the United States Army Sustainment Command, and the entire Army family. This 5th day of May 2014, signed, John F. Wharton, Major General, United States Army, Commanding.
Walk lightly. Yes, sir, I am. Walk lightly.
To lead and to guide His troops. And Lord, also the civilians. And Lord, we pray that you would watch out over him as he goes to his new job, and also his family. Lord, that you would have the right place for them at the right time. And Lord, we thank you for Colonel Menhart as he takes over. Lord, we pray that as he comes to the end of his own strength, you would find the beginning of yours. And Lord, if at any time that he would lack wisdom, that he would seek you. Lord, that you would grant him your wisdom from above. Lord, place upon his head the helmet of salvation, upon his chest, Lord, the breastplate of righteousness, shod his feet with peace. Give him the shield of faith, and teach him to wield the sword of the Spirit. We ask in our Savior's name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. As part of the Army's modular force structure, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, red roses are being presented to Mrs. Patricia Wilson and to her daughters Victoria and Rebecca. Red roses are also being presented to Mrs. Arlene Snyder and to her daughters Gia and Rachel. Red roses signify the loving and nurturing relationship that has grown while they have been part of our command. Yellow roses are being presented to Mrs. Kisa Menhart, to Colonel Menhart's mother, Gail, to the Menhart's daughter, Brittany, and to Colonel Menhart's mother-in-law, Mrs. Betty Bunnell. with symbolism and heritage dating back to medieval times. In more recent times, the colors represent not only the heritage and history of the unit, but also the unity and loyalty of its soldiers. Key to the change of command is the passing of the unit's colors. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing their responsibilities to the organization. The passing of the unit colors represents the transfer of authority and responsibility for the unit from one commander to another. The passing of the colors from the command sergeant major to the outgoing commander signifies his last act of allegiance to that commander. The passing of the colors from the outgoing commander to the senior commander signifies that the unit is never without officer leadership. The passing of the colors from the senior commander to the incoming commander signifies the senior commander's the passing of his trust and also the responsibility for the unit and its soldiers. The passing of the colors from the incoming commander to the command sergeant major signifies the confidence that the commander places in the non-commissioned officer corps and is the command sergeant major's first act of allegiance to his new commander. By authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5, the undersigned assumes command of the 406th Army Field Support Brigade, effective 22/2014. Signed, Richard L. Minhart, Colonel, Logistics, Commanding. Command Sergeant Major Eric S. Braley, the incoming Command Sergeant Major, will now return the colors to the color bearer, who exemplifies the highest standards of discipline, conduct, and military expertise that go with the responsibility of bearing the flag that represents so much to this unit. At this time, Command Sergeant Major Snyder, the outgoing Command Sergeant Major, will inspect the non-commissioned officer's sword for the final time before transferring the sword to the incoming Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Braley. The transfer of the non-commissioned officer's sword symbolizes the change of responsibility among the senior enlisted leaders of the brigade. The sound of the sword returning fully into its scabbard symbolizes the completion of the change of responsibility.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's really great to be back here at Fort Bragg, and especially on a day like today where we have a superb Army Day and a day where we get to do a change of command and a change of responsibility. First, I'd like to thank the Army Ground Forces Band. Thanks for always adding something extra to this event. Special thanks to the Color Guard and soldiers from the 1st Leader Support Command provided by a good friend of mine, Major General Darrell Williams. And also today, Chaplain Dollinger, thank you for the warm and meaningful invitation. In front of you are the Army Field Support Battalions that are represented today. They represent Fort Bragg, Fort Campbell, Drum, and Fort Stewart. It's great to see all of you standing tall out there in formation. Together, everyone out there adds up some important ceremonies like this. Now, instead of me repeating everyone who's here, let me just to all the distinguished visitors, senior leaders, soldiers, Department of Army civilians, contractors, families, friends of the 406th Army Field Brigade. It's great to see you here today. Your testament is a testament to our great leaders and the units that we have the privilege of honoring here today. Now, I have the distinct honor and privilege to command the United States Army Sustainment Command. My mission is very simple: sustain U.S. Army and Joint Forces in support of combatant commands. And if the Army Sustainment Command serves as ANC's executing arm and the Army's Logistics Command and Control Hub, the 406 AFSD is the backbone. We rely heavily on the 406 to bridge the national sustainment base of our forward deployed forces. It allows us to support our military objectives both here at Fort Bragg and on the eastern half of the United States, but also more importantly around the world. The 406 ensures that the Army and Joint Forces of your magnificent military team of military, civilians, and contractor professionals. When you took command on July 14th, 2011, you were handed a unit in the midst of a major transformation. transformation. You took this organization and shaped it into an effective, responsive, and professional logistics unit, ensuring Army readiness. Although David's accomplishments are many, let me just mention a few in the sake of time. First and foremost, David and his team have built sustained combat power by providing continuous, uninterrupted combat service support to all the units I mentioned in the eastern half of the United States. David's initiative and leadership transformed the 20 Directorate of Logistics into logistics readiness centers, now giving the Army an end-to-end sustainment capability with an increased focus on power projection and complete support for Division 4s and other units. Also of note, the 406 is also the only post-based Army Field Support Brigade responsible for Army pre-position stops, the only one in the world that handles the APS-3 afloat, a critical strategic enabler. You've ensured the pre-deployment training, David, for 13 brigade combat teams, essential to equipping them and bringing them up to standards for the Army. On top of everything else, the 406, in partnership with the Defense Security Cooperation Agency, supported recovery and relief efforts during a series of devastating weather-related disasters. In 2011, it was Hurricane Irene. In 2012, Superstorm Sandy. This brigade and David Wilson's direct involvement played a decisive role in our nation's response to these events. Whether it's Army readiness, equipping, responding to natural disasters, or sustaining our special forces, you have done it all and then some. All absolutely critical to building and sustaining combat power in support of our national objectives. David, you and your team did a magnificent job of taking on all these large, complex missions, and you made it look easy. You should be very proud of the tremendous work this brigade has done in support of the Army. And I'm extremely proud of all you have accomplished personally. I've told you many times over the course of your tenure how truly amazed I am at what you and the 406 AFSB do. We'll miss you, your leadership, your technical and tactical competence, your integrity, commitment, values, professionalism, and sacrifices. There is no one, simply no one, who could have done better. And I'm so very proud of all you and what your team has done, and I can not thank you enough on behalf of myself, the Commanding General Vi, who asked me to pass on his comments yesterday, what a magnificent job you did in command. But you simply represent the best the Army has to offer, and we're better for having you here among us. Now, I can think of no better way to sum up David's achievements other than the brigade's motto, which is steadfast support. And throughout all this successful military career, his successful military career has been at his side his wife, Patricia, and their wonderful Army family. As David has built up accomplishments as the commander of the 406, so has Patricia contributed to the quality of life here at Fort Bragg, but also to the community. She works as an English as a second language teacher at the Alberton Middle School. She also participates in the Fort Bragg Senior Spouses Club and serves as an usher at St. Michael's. And she's worked with her husband to establish the 406 Virtual Family Readiness Group. Her children, Victoria, age 16, is in the top 3 of her class at E. Smith High School in Fayetteville, veteran in varsity tennis and soccer, and just completed the United States Naval Academy's Leadership Seminar program. Rebecca, 13, was on the honor rolls at Alberton Middle School and also on the state chorus. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a very special member of the family, and that's David's sister Barbara, who's here with us also today. So to Patricia, Victoria, Rebecca, thank you for your support and involvement with the brigade. I realize and appreciate the sacrifices you made as a military family, and thank you for your support you will continue to give David as your family moves on to face new challenges. Together you are everything the Army family stands for. Now the great thing about the Army is when one great leader leaves, there's another great leader to take his place. Today we welcome Colonel Richmond Hart to the team. Today, Rich, we pass the colors to you. As commander, you take over a mission that has seen and will continue to see many challenges in an uncertain environment. You come to us from the Army War College, but you're certainly no stranger to Fort Bragg. When I was looking up your time, I stopped at when I got to about 80-some months and said, okay, that's enough. You have a vast experience with USASOC, JSOC, the 82nd, both at home station and abroad. You've become highly regarded, and you're uniquely qualified to command the 406.
right mix of strategic and operational experience, and you're the right person to build on David's successes and take this brigade to the next level. Running this brigade, its people, its operations, and enjoy the support. I would also like to welcome your wife.
Major General Wharton, Major General O'Connell and Mrs. O'Connell, Major General Retired Anderson, Mrs. Williams, Command Sergeant Major Spencer, Sergeant Major Barraza, fellow brigade commanders, guests, friends, and family members of the 406th Army Field Support Brigade. Thank you for attending this change of command ceremony today. Let's give a big round of applause to those that worked so hard to put this change of command ceremony together. To the soldiers on the field, you look great. To the 82nd Airborne Division Band, thank you for adding a touch of class to this ceremony. Proverbs 16:9 says that the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord orders his steps. Today I'd like to give thanks to God for granting me this day and for ordering my steps throughout my tenure of command. I would like to thank Major General Wharton for trusting me with this command and allowing me to be a brigade commander throughout my tour of duty. Sir, your trust in me and this brigade enabled us to assist our supported commanders with sustainment solutions that allow them to build and preserve readiness of their warfighting units. Thanks for your steady leadership and sound guidance over the past 21 months of command. Patricia, who has endured seeking employment within her education profession every 2 years for the past 12 years. Victoria, who has endured 5 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 2 high schools in 12 years. And Rebecca, who has been in 5 elementary schools and 1 middle school in the past 7 years. Thank you all for putting up with the BlackBerry, long hours, missed school events, sometimes weekend work, hectic travel schedule, and me. I could not have made it without your love and support. I love you all dearly. To my sister, thank you for making the trip to support me once again. You're always there for me from the beginning, from the time I was a private E1 through today. And I love you and appreciate your continued support. I'd like to make special thanks to Major General Grazoplane, who's stuck at the Atlanta airport due to travel delays, and his wife, Anne Marie, who was scheduled to be there en route from Texas. Their efforts in attempting to be here means a lot to me. Major General Grazoplane was smartest and most passionate and driven leader that I've had the privilege to serve under. He made me a better leader and taught me to never ask your people to do something you were not willing to do. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Adolphus Glenn, West Point class 1989, Airborne Ranger Infantry Officer, and Desert Shield, Desert Storm veteran that commanded 2 companies here within the 82nd Airborne Division. Thank you, Adolph, for coming all the way from New Jersey to be here and support. There has not been a significant milestone in my adult life that you have missed, from my wedding, being diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer, birth of my children, many military events from promotions to events as serving as the jump master on my last jump here in 1995 over the Sicily drop zone. Thank you for modeling what right looked like while I served with you as a new 2nd Lieutenant in the 2nd Infantry Division and here at Fort Bragg. To the many other friends that know that friendship is truly essential to the soul, as well as those that have traveled from faraway places, as well as those that broke away from their officers here at Fort Bragg and the surrounding community. Thank you for attending and supporting Team Wilson today. Blessed be the tie that binds us all. Today brings mixed feeling as I relinquish command of the Best Army Field Support Brigade within Army Material Command. I know that I'm biased, however, I think the facts will convince you as well. Before I lay out the facts, I'd just like to say that I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve alongside so many great Department of the Army civilians, non-commissioned officers, warrant officers, and officers that work each day to execute AMC's material enterprise operations by leveraging those national level provided capabilities and introducing them at the operational and tactical level of sustainment. To my fellow AFC Brigade commanders, past and present, Lopez, John, Kreitzer, Padgett, Coonsley, Roscoe, Allen, Moore, Croman, Kincaid, and Burke, thank you for your fellowship and friendship. Team steadfast support, it has been an awesome ride. You weathered the storm through 2 commanding generals over the past 2 years, 3 deputy commanding generals, 3 chiefs of staffs, 3 G3s, and a host of other changes throughout the sustainment command, and still work with our higher headquarters and not against, given the many transitions. The military service members, Department of the Army, civilians, and contractors have been called on the lot to support many exercises and real-world events over the past 2 years. And they rose to the occasion each time, often making the world-class support look effortless. Over the past 2 years, 2/3 of the 24 Brigade Logistics support teams assigned to the AFSB has been deployed in support of Maneuver Brigade combat teams to the CENTCOM AOR for Operation Enduring Freedom. And at one point in this time frame, almost half were in theater at the same time in support of units from the 82nd Airborne Division, the 101st Airborne Division, the 10th Mountain Division, and the 3rd Infantry Division, as well as those U.S. Army Special Operations Command elements deployed around the world. The men and women of the 406 AFSB Team Steadfast Support has lived up to its motto in every respect, and has provided support during joint operational access exercises here at Fort Bragg, Vibrant Response, Ardent Sentry, Operation Rolling Thunder, support to the United States Marine Corps, Operation Contract Support Joint Exercises, NORTHCOMs, DISCA Tabletop Exercises, Global Logistics Conferences, and rock drills, global responsive sustainment rock drills, DISCA support the Superstorm Sandy, the Nor'easter, download, maintenance, execution, and upload of 6 vessels containing Army preposition stocks, and in the logistics activity in Charleston and the military ocean terminal in Sunny Point. They've hosted sustainment and installation logistics terrain walks across 21 installations in our 27-state area of responsibility, as well as executed warfighter strategic sustainment forums that assisted our installations and senior commanders in developing integrated logistics support plans inclusive of all sustainment stakeholders on their posts. The brigade has reset over 493,000 pieces of equipment, which equated to 21 brigade combat teams and 156 separate units, as well as provided pre-deployment training equipment sets in excess of 7,500 pieces of equipment to each division within the 18th Airborne Corps, plus training sets for the reserves and National Guard at Camp Atterbury and Fort McCoy. Our LRC's Logistics Readiness Centers manage 15 ammunition supply points and issued 36,347 short tons of ammunition valued at over $385 million. The brigade's LRCs operate 11 CIFs, 2 CIIPs, providing support to over 217,000 soldiers while managing inventories valued in excess of $428 million. These world-class professionals within the Logistics Readiness Center served over 60 million meals in dining facilities and received, stored, and issued $394 million in operational rations over the past 2 years. From servicing 300,000 personnel within installation transportation officers on 21 installations to the brigade's management of 104 individual contracts valued in excess of $489 million, these sustainment superstars have delivered championship performance in every respect. To my Command Sergeant Major, Vance E. Snyder, thank you for your unwavering support and devotion to duty and your loyalty. You set the bar for all non-commissioned officers within the command. When I was a soldier, Command Sergeant Major James Rich told me at Fort Benning, Georgia, when I got promoted to sergeant, that all units have too many sergeants and not enough non-commissioned officers. He said sergeants depend on outside motivations, but NCOs provide their own. He said sergeants enforce the standards on others, but not on themselves. He said NCOs live the standards and lead by example. He said sergeants cover their butts, but he didn't say butts back then. But he said NCOs do the right thing, regardless of the consequences. He said sergeants avoid responsibilities, but he said NCOs feel responsible for everything they can see. To my senior NCOs, Marks, Walker, Watson, Reed, Bennett, Hill, Averhart, Craig, Burkett, Cannett, Nicholson, Jackson, Fletcher, Roberson, and Sims, thank you for being the standard bearers and maintaining excellence. The success of this brigade would not have been possible without the efforts of our officers and warrant officers like Brock, Royal, Calvin, Learman, Scott Skilling, Gross, McDonald, Hendricks, Stanek, Slim, Cole, McFarland, Woods, Fergus, Stockton, Giles, Simpkins, Horvath, Bennett, Boyd, Pearson, Pickett, Robinson, Mobley, Jones, Cole, Ramirez, Shackelford, Frieden, Kirby, Walker, Woods, Thornowitz, Hawk, Taylor, Rigg, Mobley, Wade, Green ×2, Stevens, Nix, McCoy, Enfinger, Utley, Sullivan, and Grove. Thank you all for your support and commitment to our mission. The continuity and stability within this brigade resides with our civilian personnel and these sustainment champions like Tompkins, Roberts, O'Brien, Sanders, Davis, Quinn, Cheeks, Payne, Mitchell, Locklear, Johnson, Smith times 2, Ryan, Curio, Phillips, Gloston, Scott, Williams times 3, Bullock, Thomas, Navarro, Jenkins, Brown, Roberts, Literal, Woolley, Stevens, Mulder, Batts, Bellamy, Baskerville, Penn, Jennings, Cunningham, Brown, Bagley, Kemp, Holt, Broderick, McElvey, Fontenez, Carter, Dunlap, Osborne, Simmons, Sweet, Malone, Miller, Jones, Reedy, DeMar, Haley, Levesque, Shepard, Franks, Monkowski, Marble, Landry, Benner, Cabler, Eden, Dilly, and the impact players that always knock down 3 points for the brigade that I often refer to as the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Julius Erving of 406, Rashawn, Gaynor, and Patillo. Thank you all for taking care of the unit and the mission in every way. These selfless Department of the Army civilians often put the unit's interests ahead of personal self-interest, often working long hours and not claiming overtime in order to get the mission done. Coming in early to ensure that events are set for each day, managing resources to ensure that we get the most for our money. And this is why everything that you all have touched during this tenure of command for me truly turned to gold. Our best assets in the military are the people, and not the tanks, trucks, weapons, machinery, or aircraft. Organizations really don't accomplish anything. It's the people, the soldiers, non-commissioned officers, and Department of the Army civilians. The one team that personnel of this fine unit and brigade have often heard me refer to that accomplishes much. Team steadfast support as you gear up for the many tasks and missions that will set you under the helm of the new leadership. Please remember the challenge of the late Senator Robert Francis Kennedy. Do not look at things and wonder why. Dream new ideas and say why not. Because, as you've heard me say often, change is truly the law of life. And don't be stuck looking at the past or the present so that you will not miss out on the future. Team 406, always remember that excellence is the standard in all that you do, so as you approach each task, obstacle, mission, or challenge, remember the saying, good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better than your better's best. Though times will be tough as we continue to go through the sequester and manage our limited resources in this fiscally constrained environment, you must remember to continue to see it through. Remember, when you're up against trouble, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. Running from it will not save you. See it through. Finally, to Rich, Keeza, Corey, and Brittany, President Harry Truman was right. Command is sometimes lonely. But remember, don't lose your sense of humor. I'm reminded of a battalion organizational day in Korea where I served as a fire support officer with the Mech Infantry Battalion that included a raffle where a young soldier won the position of battalion commander for the day. The official commander brought him up to the podium and asked what was his first order would be. He replied to the waiting crowd, officer PT test, 0600 hours in the morning. The only people not laughing were the officers. Rich, please maintain your sense of humor and have fun in your command. Take care of the people and they'll take care of you. Remember, personnel hear what you say and believe what they see. Colonel John J. Mahoney, a professor, once told me at the Citadel while I was a cadet there that people forget how fast you did a job, but they remember how well you did it. And he went on to say that time is a non-renewable resource. Once it is gone forever. My tenure has gone by fast, and my 2 years on the Steadfast Express has drawn to a close. I thank all of those within this command that did not help me count my time here, but instead helped me to make my time count within the 406 Army Field Support Brigade. Army strong, on the line, steadfast support, steadfast 6, for you, Sergeant Major, aka the Big Dog, out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army Material Command Song and the Army Song.